Hey everyone, today we're comparing the AGV Corsa R to Shoei's GT Air 2. So we have two helmets in front of us today, the AGV Corsa R and the Shoei GT Air 2. Now with these helmets, there's a couple things to consider, and first of all, they're both full face helmets. Then they're going to have a slightly different specialization. The Corsa R is a sports racing helmet and the GT Air 2 is a sports touring helmet. So they do go in slightly different directions, but there is plenty of crossover. Now for the price, and the Corsa R is going to come in at around $800 at the recommended retail price, and the GT Air 2 is going to come in at $600 at the recommended retail price. So a little bit of difference there, but remember the Corsa R is a little bit older, the GT Air is brand new, so you can get some good discounts on the Corsa R at championhelmets.com. So when it comes to shell material, there's a small difference. The Corsa R is made out of a mixture of carbon fiber, fiberglass and aramid, whereas the Shoei GT Air 2 is made out of multiple layers of fiberglass, organic fiber and also resin. So small difference. Same thing as well with the weight. So this one came in at 1.35 kilograms, whereas this one came in at 1.45. So 100 gram difference there, nothing super drastic, but small difference overall. And for sizes, this was a size M and this is a size MS. And also this is going to be available in 4 different shell sizes, whereas the GT Air is only available in 3 different shell sizes. So the Corsa R does take something of an advantage here. When it comes to the aerodynamics, the Corsa R is going to be much more specialized for sports and racing. It's got a very angular kind of look to it. You can see that. The vents at the top are going to sit down much lower, so they're going to be more effective in a tucked position. We have all these channels and then a big spoiler at the rear. Now we do have a little bit of an angular chin on the Shoei, but overall you're going to see that it's more round, and it's also going to sit a little bit more like this, less in a tuck, and it's also going to have a much smaller spoiler. So overall it's going to have a much more touring orientated design than the racing sporty design of the Corsa R. For ventilation now, and on the chin of the Corsa R we have this vent which is going to go onto the visor via this, but also onto your chin. Then on the GT Air we only have this one vent which is going to bring air up through here onto your visor. Up top we have 3 vents here which can be individually open and closed, very similar to that of the Pista GPR. Oops, there we go. And here we also have just one big scoop. So a small difference. At the back, the Shoei is going to have a very similar system to the Corsa R, but these 2 vents are only going to have one hole in the EPS actually bringing air to them, whereas these 2 vents are going to have 3 holes in the EPS each. So 2 holes in the EPS versus 6. So while it doesn't look like it, there is a difference there. So looking at the visor of both helmets, and there's just a couple similarities, a couple differences. They're both pinlock lens prepared, pinlock in the box, but the Corsa R does have tear-off mounts, so it's a bit more of a racing focus. The GT Air does not. And when it comes to a cracked city position, both helmets have one. After that though, the GT Air 2 does have multiple detent positions. Just run through them like that. Whereas on the Corsa R, you can open it or close it, one of the 2. So the system on the visor system on the GT Air 2 is, I think, just stronger overall, because it's a Shoei system. They make great visor mechanisms. It feels very tight, and it definitely pulls better and seals better into the shell, making for better noise isolation and for aerodynamics and all that kind of thing. Whereas here, it feels a little bit loose, but it does seal in quite nicely. Again, just not as good as that of the Shoei overall. Then we do also have an internal sun visor, which you can see me using here on the GT Air 2, whereas on the Corsa R we do not. So a couple small differences here. I think the stronger visor is definitely on the Shoei. So the liners for these helmets are going to be removable and washable and all that. So I'm going to take the one out here for the Corsa, just take out the head roll. It's a little bit of a strong one there. Pull this one out. There we go. So here you can see it's going to be their reversible Shalimar and Ritmo liner. So you have here a cool side, and then you have here a warm side. You just flip them around, swap around these little buttons, and then you can have it on a cool or a warm side, depending on what you like. So let's take out the GT Airs, pull it out here. There we go. Then, you know, this is their 3D. That was a max dry, so it's going to clear sweat pretty well. It's a nice liner overall, and the quality of finish on this part of the liner is pretty good on both helmets, though there is this little bit of excess fabric that was never taken away. And also under the cheek pads of the Corsa R, there's a few little loose strings and stuff like that. Nothing bad, it's just, you know, with the Shoei, the quality is just a little bit better. Now, if we take a look at the EPS, you can see on the inside here, the channeling, nothing too special. Plenty of holes in the EPS for the ventilation, but there's also going to be no cutouts for speakers. It's not prepared in any way for a communication system. You're going to have to sort that out yourself and, you know, try and fit in your speakers and your mics. It might not be very comfortable, and it could be quite challenging. Whereas here, opening this up, you can also see the EPS. It's quite normal, you know, not as much channeling as with the Corsa R, but there are cutouts for microphone and speaker for the Center SRL2, specifically made for this helmet, and stuff like that, so you can more easily attach a communication system. But overall, the EPS and the liner, it's going to come down to what you really want more. The reversible aspect of this liner is quite nice, whereas this is simply a good liner overall. So now for noise isolation, and we've put these two helmets through our beep test. The GT Air 2 blocked around 4 or 5 decibels of noise, whereas the Corsa R only blocked around 2 decibels of noise, which is a very weak result. And I was quite disappointed, honestly, with the Shoei result, but I'm much more disappointed with the Corsa R result. I think it's a little bit more of that racing focus in this helmet though. So here, the Shoei does actually win out. Make sure to check out our product bundles for these helmets on championhelmets.com, because there you'll find some good deals on visors and communication systems. So this has been our comparison between the AGV Corsa R and the Shoei GT Air 2. Now I hope you guys found it useful, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with everything that we're doing. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you all next time.